The Truth About Filing Bankruptcy in Connecticut. Our next chapter. How can I keep my home if I'm having trouble affording it? Well, Joseph was diagnosed with cancer and was unable to continue working while in treatment. A year later, he had beaten the cancer and was employed again, but found himself 8 months behind on his mortgage and with a pile of credit card debt. He filed Chapter 13 and is paying his delinquent mortgage payment over 5 years. Keeping your home obviously means that you're going to have to pay for your home. Just because you've received a discharge in bankruptcy doesn't mean that the bank is not going to expect that you continue paying on your mortgage. Yes, the underlying debt is canceled, but the mortgage still remains on the property. And you're going to have to make regular monthly mortgage payments in order to keep the home. During the process, the lender is still going to be expecting you to make payments. And if you don't make the payments, the lender will foreclose, obviously. It's as simple as that. Otherwise, you'll be able to leave the bankruptcy and keep your home. Well, that would cause ultimately the collapse of the banking industry. So again, the underlying debt, the promissory note is ripped up, but the mortgage still remains against the property. People keep confusing that, and even some attorneys do. If you want current on your mortgage and you're having trouble catching up, you can file a Chapter 13 and pay your mortgage arrearage a little each month over 60 months. In the meantime, if you stay current and make your payments, the bank can't foreclose whatsoever, whether it wants to or not. The law doesn't allow it. I regularly see people who haven't made mortgage payments in months or years, and they file a Chapter 13 and they're able to get caught up on those missed payments. Now let's say you want to keep your home and you can't afford the monthly payments. Your other option is to try to modify your loan. If you are approved, the bank could reduce your current interest rate and put the delinquent payments on the back of the loan. Then you'll just resume payments under what is generally called a government program or a modification. Now, there's a lot of programs out there for home modifications that banks are willing to look at in order to keep you in your home. The programs depend on whether you're current or delinquent on your mortgage. Modifications are going to require a financial hardship, such as one resulting from divorce, illness, loss of job, or cut in work hours. The guidelines on getting approval are tricky, especially if you are self-employed. As part of our pre-bankruptcy planning or foreclosure defense, our office assists individuals and families in modifying their loans when appropriate. There is also assistance available with the local housing authorities. If you can't modify, you're left with only a Chapter 13 if you want to keep the house. Let's assume for a moment that you're behind 6 mortgage payments of $2,000 per month for a total of $12,000. And no matter how hard you try, you can't get current. You're getting letters from the bank saying you're delinquent. You have the ability to file a Chapter 13 and pay the balance over time. Let's break it down into the payments that you would have to go further. For example, in a Chapter 13, your payment would be approximately $225 a month for 60 months, meaning that each and every month for the next 5 years, you will mail a check for $225 to the bankruptcy trustee. After the 10% trustee fee is deducted, the balance will be sent to your bank. When you are under the protection of the Chapter 13, the bank cannot foreclose as long as you're paying your trustee payment of $225 a month and keeping your mortgage current. Sometimes people think you only have to pay the arrearage. No. You have to pay both on the arrearage and the present mortgage. Sometimes in Chapter 13, despite your best efforts, you're not going to be able to afford the current payments plus the trustee payments. If that happens, you have to take a hard look at your situation to see whether keeping your home is in your best interest. Part of your plan might be to file a Chapter 13 and continue the effort to modify your loan or struggle to pay the arrears over the life of the plan. If you're unable to afford it, you can sell the property in Chapter 13 or convert it to a Chapter 7 to discharge your debts. That's not something that you hope to do, but reality may be at the door. You will be able to sell your house while in a Chapter 13. When you are trying to save your house, one of the many benefits of bankruptcy is that you get what's called the automatic stay. Now let's assume that your bank is putting pressure on you and begins foreclosure proceedings. It may start with a simple form letter, but the bank may get more serious and hire an attorney and send you to court, publish the notice in the newspaper, and schedule an auction date. When you file for bankruptcy, the court imposes what's called the automatic stay. The stay means that all foreclosure and collection activity stops at the moment of filing. If your intention is to keep your home and you file a Chapter 13, the automatic stay allows you to submit a plan to the bankruptcy court of your intent to keep the property and resume payments. The automatic stay, I tell clients, is like a force field, which creditors can't penetrate or go after your home.